Hi, this is Aman from Tech365. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to configure AWS GuardDuty with the S3 and KMS integration. So usually we have to log in our AWS account and then we have to click on GuardDuty. You can search from GuardDuty from here. So if you never used GuardDuty before, you will see this interface. And just to remember, remember everyone that when you enable GuardDuty, it's a region specified service so that it can be enabled on multiple region, and it's not like global service. So I'm right now in Singapore region, and as you can see in my address path, you can see AP Southeast 1. So I will come back to this later because there's some point of noting this stream. So let's get started in here. So we're gonna enable GuardDuty. So let's get started, and it says service permission. So when you enable GuardDuty, you grant GuardDuty to permission to analyze your CloudTrail logs. So you can tag the rule from here. So unless you delete the rule, it's supposed to be there already. So eventually you can see that. So it's already there, I believe, because I haven't deleted the rules, and that's the one by default rules. Anyway, so I'm gonna click on enable guard duty. Now my guard duty is enabled. So I'm gonna go to the uses, and you can see there is no uses because I haven't been used anything in this account, and also the guard duty is on just enabled only. So now I'll go back to the settings, and here I able to see the permission again if I like to check the rules for that specified service. So here's the main part because we're gonna configure S3 bucket so that we can have all of our logs exported into a bucket in case we can analyze anytimes, and we don't have to suspend our account to pause our GuardDuty service from here. So let's enable our S3 bucket. So you can set up it 1 hour, 15 minutes. It's up to you. So let's just say it's 1 hour and save. Now S3 bucket, we can refresh here. No, there's nothing. So we can go to the configure now settings. So if you have existing bucket, then you can select it from here. Since we don't have any existing bucket, we cannot select it anywhere. So in such case, we're gonna create a new bucket. And if you have another bucket in another account, that case, we will come to these two section right after this section, because if we complete this one, the rest one will be easy. So let's create a new bucket for our guard duty. So let's give name SU8GD. I guess it's available. Unless it's available, you will see some issue. Then log prefix. So what will be the prefix of guard duty log files? So I'll use GD. And now it says choose a key from your account or choose a key from your another account. So since this is the account I'm going to use, I have to click on here. So you can see there's no key. So I have to create a key first. So I'll go to KMS console. So it's going to open another tab. Now in KMS console, key management service, actually, I have to create a key. So create a key. So in such case, I'm going to use symmetric key. In advanced section, you can see if you use the key with multiple region, same key, in that case, you're going to use regional keys. So in my case, I'll use single region key, and I'll click next. And we're going to give a key alias name. So let's give its name GDSU8 KMS. Sorry, KMS. And now tag, let's give its name a tag like name and the file name. That's it. Press next. Now we have to define administrator. So here's the important thing. Eventually, you can skip these two parts, just skip next, next. However, I recommend to set up a administrator and allow access to the guard duty rules. So for my case, and eventually, I recommend everyone to have that, so that you can have option to manage this key. Otherwise, you cannot manage this key in later. So I'll use my name, I am user, and I'll select AWS service rule for guard duty so that the guard duty rule can manage that key. And you can use other services or other rules with that one. So for my case, I will stick to that. Press next. So I will define key uses. So yes, same, I'll follow both these two rules. Then I'll press next. And the key policy, here you can see the policy for guard duty. So that's fine. We're gonna modify this key again, just not right now because I like to see some error, then I'll come back to this one. If I fix this right away, you guys not see what error comes if we just use the default key. So we're gonna go finish. Now the key is configured. Now let's go back to the guard duty panel. Now we can choose key. However, we have to refresh this page since we created this one. So we're gonna just refresh. Now again, we're gonna configure now. New bucket. Let's give its name GD, and from your account now we can select the key, and when we're gonna hit save, we will it will create S3 bucket. So let's open S3 console in another tab, and also the KMS console in another tab. Okay, I think we have to open from multiple tab manually. So in KMS, in here in S3, you can see there is only one bucket. So we will create another one when we save it. Okay, let's click on save. Now it says that failed to configure export option because guard duty doesn't have permission to the KMS key or the S3 bucket or specified location in bucket. So there's a there could be three issues. Either it could be KMS key itself, or it could be S3 bucket itself, or it could be the bucket path itself. So to figure out what's the problem, we'll check S3 first. We'll check if the bucket created or not. So if the bucket created, then we consider that bucket is fine. So the bucket is created, as we can see in here, bucket is created. Now we're gonna check the bucket permission. So in permission section, then we'll come to this one, and we can see it's connected with AWS GuardDuty, and it only accessible by AWS GuardDuty or some kind of path policy is also configured. Okay, we can see the path is also already there, that it can use that path or prefix. So it means our S3 is perfectly fine. However, now we have to check our KMS key. So the issue is we haven't assigned any kinds of S3 permission with the key policy. That's why it's not able to connect that bucket. So we have to add a permission to our policy so that it can access S3 bucket. So we're gonna click on the switch policy view, and here we can see that this is the IAM policy, and this is the IAM policy for user as well as guard duty service. So both rules are added in here. So now we can go back to, so we're gonna copy all these commands, I mean all these JSON files, then we're gonna open in text notepad, and then in notepad it is much easier to write the configuration. So in here As you can see, SID. So this one is ends in here. So I'm gonna add a comma. Then I'll enter a new line. Then I'll go to the documentation of AWS. If you open AWS Amazon GuardDuty doc, you will be in here. So I will put this link in description so it will be much easier for you to navigate. So here it says you have to add this policy in order to allow S3 access. So I'll copy this one, then I'll put it in here, and you can actually format it, but it's not important. Allow S3, allow GuardDuty to use the key. So here's the service. They say that we have to change the service name if we manually use any kinds of endpoint, like we specify any endpoints. So in such case, we will be using guard duty Asia Pacific Southeast 1 endpoint. So in such case, let's just copy this region name for their one, and here we will just replace it with their name. Then we're gonna copy our desired guard duty endpoints, like in this one section. Right now we'll come to this one. We also have to change the region and account ID and the key management ID. So you have to go to my account section and you can find that. Eventually you can find it from here. However, there is an easy option in here that, let's go back to the KMS, and you can see the ARN. We just copy the ARN, and let's just select this one and paste it here. So it's gonna take it from there. Now we're gonna copy a whole course or just a file. Then we're gonna click edit, and we will paste it in here. It will automatically format itself, so don't need to worry about that. Save changes. So if you don't see any error, which means you are perfectly fine. Now we don't see any error and it's working fine. So let's go back to the guard duty, and now let's try to save it. And now let's see how this goes. You cannot previously request to create the name bucket, you already allow it. So it says that it already created S3 bucket, and that's why it's giving me an issue. In such case, I'll just click S3 bucket, and there you go, and save. Now, as you can see, it's configured. Right now, you might wonder that if I like to set up an existing bucket that doesn't have that S3 permission, in such case you'll follow the same documentation. If you scroll down right below here, you can see this other documentation, and guard duty, you can see granting guard duty permission to a bucket. Then here's the option, like if you click on this arrow, you're able to see the permission policy. So you can just copy the permission policy and you can paste it in another notepad. And now I suggest to use Notepad or VS Code, and you can just select the name, and you can, let's go to S3. Let's create a new bucket. GD new. So there's a thing is your bucket must be in same region where the guard duty is. So I use Asia Pacific Southeast to 1 actually. So here I'll let it what it is. Now create bucket, and then you have to replace all of the string according to AWS guide. I open the new one and permission tab and bucket policy. I will edit bucket policy, and it says bucket name only. Yeah, only just bucket name. So here we can replace it. What's the name? SUAGD-new. So su8 gd-new replace all. So all of the names are changed, and eventually you can change the GuardDuty endpoints. I think it should be a work like this way. So let's just try one more time. And also, oh, here you also have to change the key string, I believe. Here is the, let me check if they have changed it. Yes, they also have changed the region and the string itself, also the endpoint as well. So we're gonna also do that. So let's go back to the account and the key name. So here I'll have to copy the key name from the policy that we created last time for KMS. Put it here. That's it. Oh, and each time we have to replace the service rule. So now we're gonna copy the service name actually, and then we select service and we're gonna replace all of them. Replace it, replaced 4 times. So now I believe our new bucket is ready. So let's copy this and let's add it in here. By the way, optional prefix. So if you like to set up the prefix, you also have to replace this path. So if you like to use, let's just say we're gonna, in this case we're gonna use gdpfx and replace all. So it's replaced 4 times. Now we copy here and copy back again and save changes. Then in GuardDuty, we can, let's just say we can edit it existing bucket. And now, okay, well, we have to refresh it because we created the new one. We can actually delete this one and we can configure a new one. So you can, it says existing bucket, new prefix. So you use prefix, which one? This one, gdpfx. So we're gonna set gdpfx, choose key from another your account, which is this one, and save. See, there's no issue. So this is how we can configure our GuardDuty with Amazon S3 Bucket and KMS rules. So in case if you like to set up Amazon SNS or any other services, you can find all others permission and policy from here, or the if you can search Google, you will see the permissions. Almost, they are almost identical. All you have to do is every time you have to add another permission inside here, putting a comma, or you can just put it in here without any issue. So that's it all about today's video. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you.